If you're used to buying Arrowroot Crips from the supermarket, try out this easy and simple homemade Arrowroot Crips, which are going to be very crunchy, flavorful, and delicious. So if you're looking forward to make these delicious arrowroot crips, grab yourself some arrowroots, and over here I have mine, which are quite huge. So I'm going to be using one to make our delicious crisp. So I'm going to place one aside. Generally, arrowroots are tubers which grow underground. That means that they'll be super muddy. As you can see, mine is clean on the outside because I washed off the mud, which is going to be very easy for me to peel my arrowroots without getting very messy. So using a sharp knife, I'm going to chop off the other end so that it can be easier for me to work with my arrowroots. And then I'm going to slice the skin going down just like this. And then using the edge of my knife, I'm going to remove the eyes of my arrowroot just like this. Be careful. The arrowroot is very fresh, as you can hear, it's so crispy. Once I'm done, I'm going to discard the peels. Clean my working surface a little bit. I have a wet kitchen towel, which I'm going to be placing my chopping board so that the chopping board can be stable. Once done peeling your arrowroot, this is how it's going to be looking like. As you can see, mine is clear and it's not messy because the skin of the arrowroot was not messy. So I'm going to place a frying pan with some cooking oil over medium-high flame. And as the oil is getting hot, I'm going to use my sharp knife. I'm going to cut my arrowroot in half. Be careful when slicing in half because it's super firm. Is it firm? So I've sliced my arrowroot in half and into quarters so that it can be easier for me to fry my arrowroot crisp. If you have cleaned your arrowroots and they are wet, make sure to pat dry using a kitchen paper towel because you don't want water mixing with hot oil. So I'm going to be using my handheld food slicer to make my arrowroot crisps, and I'm going to pick one piece. To check if the oil is hot, you're going to insert a skewer. Once you notice bubbling, the oil is ready. And then I'm going to firmly hold my slicer, and in goes the arrowroot crisp. Be careful if it has double blades because you don't want to chop off your fingers. So quickly I'm going to slice. When you have a small piece of arrowroot just like this, put it aside because you don't want to slice your fingers. Take another arrowroot and repeat. Using a skimmer, you're going to flip your arrowroots as they fry. Don't overcrowd your pan because you want the crisp to be very crispy. Crisp to be very crispy. Am I rhyming? So I'm going to give this around 1 to 2 minutes because the crisps are very thin. So you don't want the crisp to brown too much. So once you notice that they're crispy, use your skimmer and drain off the excess oil, transfer to your plate. Clean out my oil a little bit using a metallic sieve. Once you're done slicing your arrowroots into the cooking oil, you're going to use your skimmer, move the arrowroots a little bit so that they can crispen up. After around 30 seconds, you're going to use your skimmer and separate the crisp so that they can crispen up. Immediately the crisps are from the cooking oil, you're going to sprinkle with some salt. Just listen to that crunch. And over here, I've already plated up my delicious arrowroot crisp. You can actually snack on these crisps when you are making them because they are very delicious. So good. When done making your arrowroot crisps, they're going to be looking very delicious and they're going to be very well seasoned. Serve with your favorite sauce, and for this recipe, I've served mine with some ketchup, which I'm going to be dipping in my arrowroot crisps. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll be trying out this easy, simple arrowroot crisp.